there everyone, Oversoul here, and welcome to another update video. We have several topics to cover today, so we're just gonna jump right into it, and one of the first things I want to talk about is this green screen. Yes, since it's prominently featured in the background. And speaking of background, why don't we use this bad boy properly and go ahead and change the background real quick, shall we? Let's see here. Too outdoorsy. Too cold. Too spooky. Too hot. Too isolated. There we go. We'll just stick with this. That works. So since we're already on the topic of the green screen, let's talk about it. I already mentioned it in a previous update video that was crudely thrown together on my phone and uploaded straight from. However, it is not until recently that you guys have been able to actually see the green screen in action, and for some of you, this may even be your first time seeing it in action. But if you've been keeping up with my Let's Plays, then you will have seen it in live streams of We Happy Few, and all except for the first episode of Master Reboot. For those of you who haven't seen the Let's Play yet or don't plan on watching it, I'd still like you to see the green screen in action. So here's a very brief clip from one of the episodes of that Let's Play. I'll step aside so you can enjoy. And that's why I wonder if there's actually enemies in this game or if it just does stuff like that to mess with you. I'm gonna use the same jump trick to try to get over to the other dollhouse. Hi, Yotakaf. Oh! What am I doing? What am I doing? What am I doing? Stop! I'm pressing square. Jesus. Ha ha ha! Fantastic. I've actually been told that the green screen cam makes the videos feel different, the Let's Plays feel different, but in a good way. So that's cool. I'm glad that people like it. So once again, a huge thank you to my friend Sarah from 2 Girls, 1 Controller. That was a very generous housewarming gift, and even though it took me a while to actually open it and start using it, now that I have, it's been receptive very well, so that was a very good idea on your end, and I thank you for it. Major channel changes is like the general theme of this video. It was going to be one of the subjects itself, but then I decided, oh shit, pretty much everything I'm talking about today is in one way or another contributing to a change on the channel overall. So we'll just tackle each topic down the line then. So besides the green screen, one of the other things that indicates a significant change to the channel lately is the thumbnails. Now, after having some deep conversations with multiple people about things I could be doing differently with my channel to draw in a more wider and more diverse audience and reach out to people outside of the people who already watch me, one of the big things that came up several times that multiple people have brought up to me is the thumbnails. And I know what some of you are thinking, but Oversoul, I've always enjoyed your thumbnails. I didn't think there was anything wrong with them, and I appreciate that. Thank you. However, at first glance, with a lot of the thumbnails that I've done, people who are brand new, that have never seen my stuff before, if they were just to randomly come across it on YouTube, believe it or not, it takes people all of like a couple of seconds when they see a thumbnail. Most people don't even read the titles of the videos, they just look at the thumbnail. And that's where the importance is. They will see the thumbnail, and if it looks like a confusing, jarbled mess that doesn't really indicate the content of the video, they have no reason to click it. Whereas if the thumbnail has a more clear and concise and precise, this is what this is what to expect out of it in the picture itself, people are like, oh, okay, I'll watch that. Or if there's something enticing in the thumbnail itself that makes them want to click it. And I'm not talking about clickbait, because to me that's just shady and intentionally misleading people. To me that's what clickbait is when you intentionally mislead people with the title or the thumbnail of your video to get them to come watch it and increase your views. But ultimately that never really works out for anyone, does it? Because people don't watch the whole thing, first of all, once they realize that it's bullshit, and secondly, that video ends up getting a bunch of dislikes. But in order to get people to watch your videos in the first place, you have to have attractive thumbnails. And in today's age, when so many people have so much content readily available at their fingertips at any point in time, it's a sad reality, it really is. But yes, people do judge books by their covers now. They shouldn't, but they do. But anyways, I'm getting off track. The point I wanted to make before we continue with any of this, because I know some of these changes may not go over well with some people, but bear with me, please. Because even though becoming successful at this isn't my number one goal, it's still a goal. And realistically, I will never be able to reach it if I keep coasting the way that I am. You can tell I'm really nervous about this because I keep over-explaining myself. I just want you guys to understand that regardless of any changes I make, it's not me selling out, it's not me trying to pander to the algorithm. All I'm doing is trying to keep my head above water. I don't want to become a dead and buried channel because I tried to rebel against the system. So with that in mind, I have actually brainstormed significantly in order to find ways to make changes to the channel that can both help me reach out to a bigger audience, but also not change things so much that I'm alienating my current audience and those of you who have been there for me since the beginning. I'm attempting to make these changes in a way that is once again a win-win scenario. So anyways, back on the thumbnail topic. I'm not really good at Photoshop or anything like that, and it's very unfortunate for me that I'm not good at that. But fortunately, I have really good friends. So once again, my good friend Funky Hurdles has come to my aid. He's the one who made not only my avatar, but my channel art. This background that you see right now, he made that. By the way, if you guys have never actually taken the time to stop and actually take a look at this and admire it, admire this shit now. Because, like, look at that. It's like the trifecta of things that make my channel. It's got Soma in the background, which is the first Let's Play I ever did. And then it's got Oversoul Gaming spelled with PS4 controllers, because I do most of my Let's Plays on the PS4. And then it's got Keyblade on it as well for Kingdom Hearts, because I did a replay of the entire Kingdom Hearts franchise, and it ended up being, I don't want to say super popular, but a lot of people watched it. So Funky Hurdles, from now on, is going to be doing my thumbnails. That's basically what I was getting to. And he has done a fantastic job. So we drew inspiration from both feedback from some of you guys that I talked to privately, and from other Let's Players channels. For example, here is Oni Plays. Oni from Oni NG of Oni Cartoons or whatever. He's an animator. He makes his own goofy cartoons on YouTube and stuff. He started doing Let's Plays. He makes his own thumbnails because he's an animator. He can draw them. So as you see for what he did for this example with Lollipop Chainsaw, is he just did the same thumbnail for every episode and just changed the number on it. Okay. So simplicity, and as you can see, they have way more views than my videos ever have, or probably will. Now, the thing to note about this, though, and the feedback I got from some of you, is that every thumbnail being the same like that is kind of boring. So we looked into another example. Here's Markiplier's thumbnails from his Let's Play of Outlast. As you can see, each thumbnail follows a very similar pattern. It's got the title of the game, the number of the episode, the green filter over it, like the camera, and the face of either a character from the game or a character from the game with Mark's face photoshopped onto it, prominently featured in the center. So we drew inspiration from some other stuff we looked up and the feedback that we got, and we went for simplicity mixed with creativity. So basically every thumbnail in a Let's Play follows a theme where the basic outline of the thumbnail is the same, but there will be subtle changes. So here's a couple of the Master Reboot thumbnails, for example. As you can see, each thumbnail is pretty much exactly the same, with the only difference being that the color of the girl's eyes changes in each thumbnail. However, in other Let's Plays, there are more significant differences in the thumbnails. Here's BioShock Infinite, for example. This one follows the same background, same BioShock title, number in the bottom left corner, but featured on the right side of the screen is a character from that particular episode. And as a final example, here are some Cuphead thumbnails that he's made, since I'm still working on that one, and he will be making some thumbnails for Bloodborne as well. I'm not going to have him go back and make thumbnails for every Let's Play I've ever done. For some of them it's just too late, but for the ones I'm currently working on, all the future ones and such, yes. So please be sure to show him some support in the comments down below for his fantastic work on those thumbnails. My God. Alright, moving on to the next thing. So, there's going to be a change to the schedule and video length. Now, I had to sit and think about this for a long time before I finally came upon a conclusion that I was okay with. Something that I could live with, and I think you guys will be okay with it too, hopefully. So, as you know, as it stands right now, every week my current schedule is Mondays and Wednesdays. I upload the current Let's Play I'm working on. Each episode is about 20 to 30 minutes long. And then Fridays, I upload the current replay I'm working on, and each episode ranges from about 40 minutes to an hour. And even though it wasn't a normal part of the schedule, it is now. Every Thursday night, I do a live stream of We Happy Few. With this in mind, I realized that making a change to the schedule at this point actually wouldn't be a huge change because I already upload almost every day. And then it struck me, all I have to do is just include Tuesday in the upload schedule and cut down the length of the videos. So what I'm looking at is now Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday would be the current Let's Play. All 3 days, back to back, that's 3 episodes a week. However, the episodes would be cut down to about 15 minutes each. So instead of like 2 20 to 30 minute episodes a week, which is 40 minutes to an hour of Let's Play, you would be getting 3 15-minute episodes, give or take, which is about 45 minutes. So you're getting literally the exact same amount of content, give or take of, 10 minutes or so. Really, the only thing that's changing is the length of individual videos and the inclusion of Tuesday, but when you do the math, ultimately, the amount of content time-wise is still going to be the same. So that's the change I'm thinking of making, and you might be asking yourself, why not have 2 days for Let's Plays and 2 days for replays instead? Well, here's why. I want the replays to still be a kind of laid-back, more like conversating with the game as a background experience thing. That's more of a niche thing for my core audience, and I want that to continue to be the niche thing for the core audience. That's the time I use to conversate with you guys and just kick back, It's like Oversoul's chatting corner. It's a nice leisurely experience, and I don't want to ruin that. So the longevity of those is nice, and therefore they will continue to come out weekly. So the longevity is nice because of the style of that particular Let's Play, the lack of face cam and the more laid back thing, because it's a game I'm already familiar with. So I don't want to change that. I think we have a good thing going there, and that particular thing is more appealing to the people who have been with me a while, and I'd like them to keep having that. And then the current Let's Plays can be more appealing to the newer audience or the potential new audience members. And to me, that feels like a nice compromise, because in the side of the Let's Play, even though it seems like more content, it's really still the same amount. And in the side of the replay, absolutely nothing is changing. I've also learned that even though I don't really prefer doing them because they can't be edited, live streams are important. Because outside of my replays, live streams are a way to interact with the audience, but I can interact with them live, read comments live, have a one-on-one with them live, like a personal, it's almost like I'm in the room with you. So with that being the case, I realized how important live streams really are to a channel's growth and progress, and so from now on, Thursday nights will be dedicated to live streams. I think I'll still keep it around 7 p.m. Central Time. I might bump it up to 6 p.m. Central Time. Don't quote me on that. I don't know for sure. So when I'm finished with We Happy Few, I'll find another big AAA game to live stream. And this, to me, feels like it would be a good way to actually get some more big name games on my channel too, because the Let's Plays, since they're smaller and more concise, I usually stick to the indie games. And that's great. I love indie games. A lot of people love indie games, especially the horror stuff. But that's not always going to be very appealing to potential audience members that have never seen my content before. A lot of people are more willing to watch when you jump on the bigger stuff. Now that being said, there are still some games that I'm going to want to keep to myself. There are still some games where I'm going to be like, yeah, no, I'm playing this for me. Like when Kingdom Hearts 3 comes out at the beginning of next month, or at the beginning of next year. God, I wish it was next month. When Kingdom Hearts 3 comes out in January, I'm playing that shit offline first. Like, I am going to marathon the hell out of it. And then when I'm finished playing it normally once, we'll do a replay of it, just like the others. But around that same time, the Resident Evil 2 remake comes out, so that would actually be good live stream material at that point. So this is what we're looking at now. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, 3 days of Let's Plays, which is 15 minutes each per episode, give or take a few minutes. Some of them might be 17, some of them might be 12, but in that general vicinity. And then Thursday will be Thursday Night Live. It's not the most creative title, but you get the idea. Thursday nights will be dedicated for live streams. And then Friday will continue as normal with the weekly Friday Flashback Fridays, Friday replays. And as usual, Saturdays will be reserved for stuff like this, or music videos, reactions and highlights, and so on. Now, something to note is that all of these changes I'm talking about, absolutely none of them are taking place until 2019. So you have a couple of months yet to decide whether or not these changes are significant enough for you to give up on me and unsubscribe. But I really hope you'll stick around and see how these changes work out. See firsthand that it's not going to be that drastic of a difference in terms of the content being put out there. And if it does help my channel grow, I want you to be there to see it happen. I want us to go on this journey together as a family. Because I care about you guys, I really do. Which is why I really didn't want to do any of this shit to begin with, but after listening to multiple people who know what they're talking about, they brought up a lot of good points, and if I continue to try and rebel against the algorithm and don't make any changes, I'm just gonna keep coasting, it's just gonna be the same flat line. No up, no down, just flat. But that's it as far as the significant big channel changes go. I have a couple more things to touch on, and then I'll let you go. First of all, thanks to the collaborative efforts of my immediate family who all went in on it together, I now have a Nintendo Switch. And I found a horror game on there that was on sale called Hollow, which I'll be playing on the channel here in the near future. It'll be my first Let's Play on the Switch, and it looks like Dead Space in first person. I'm into it. Now, I'll have to be careful about what things I actually play on the channel using the Switch because Nintendo is very copyright happy about a lot of their first-party games, but the Switch does have a lot of third-party stuff as well, so I'll see what I can't drag out of it every so often. And if anything, I may use it to upload gameplay videos to my alternate channel. Last thing on the agenda for today, much like my brother has gone from Knight of Severity to OCD Wolfman to now Inky Lumberjack, Ryan, who has been known as Ryan Bodash on the channel, has requested a name change. He was never really a fan of the name, it was just a joke, and honestly, he could have changed it at any point, but anyways, we finally got around to it. I told him to go ahead and brainstorm what he wanted his name to be now, and he finally came up with something, and it is Rayquaza, or Rayquaza. I can't remember how you say it. Basically, it's his name mixed with the name of the dragon Pokemon that was prominently featured on Pokemon Emerald. Basically, if you just take the A out of Rayquaza, that's what you get. You got Rayquaza. Speaking of Nintendo being copyright happy, I hope the hell this isn't a problem. Last thing before I go, I've actually been meaning to do this for a while and I keep forgetting, but I wanted to give a shout out to this podcast called We Are One, You Are Two. They mentioned me, they gave me a shout out in an episode a little while back earlier this year, and I've been meaning to give them a shout out on the channel ever since, but I just never got around to it. So you can check them out on their Twitter, put a link in the description down below. I'll also put a link directly to their podcast page. Go give them a listen. They talk primarily about PlayStation stuff. It's a video game podcast, but it's mostly focused around PlayStation, so if you're a fan of that, definitely go check them out. So, that'll be it for this update video. Thank you so much for your understanding and willingness to stick with me through these changes that I'll be making. A lot of you have stuck with me through a lot of experimental changes that I've made on the channel, and I know it's annoying to follow someone who makes changes all the time, but I need to find something that works before I can fully stick with it. Considering that this time I'm taking advice from other people who know a little bit about behind the scenes, I'm thinking these changes might be the ones that finally permanently stick. At least that's what I'm hoping for. And for those of you who are not okay with these changes and are unwilling to stick with me because of it, I'm sorry that you feel that way, but I do appreciate the time that you did spend on this channel watching me and enjoying the content. There's no hard feelings, and I wish you the best. But if you ever change your mind, the videos will always be here. The channel's not going anywhere. Feel free to come back in a couple of months and see how I'm doing. You never know. So anyways, I look forward to hearing your feedback about all of these pieces of information that I've given you today in the comments down below. And as always, thank you all so much for watching, and I will catch you possibly on another day, definitely at another time, and likely in another video. Okay, goodbye.